Yesterday, I was listening to an album that I wasn't really into, but it had a feature by J. Cole that I quite enjoyed. I've heard a couple other J. Cole features already on Stick and Down Bad when I went down a Jid rabbit hole a few months ago. He's highly regarded as a legend in the space, so I thought, why not give him the floor? For Your Eyes Only, a pretty short album at just 10 tracks, no prominent features, and released in 2016. Let's begin. The highest stakes are set, we know the end is near, but we're not sure if we should quit now or keep going.
I'm searching and praying and hoping for something.
Oh my God.
I know I'm gonna see it. I know that it's coming, Lord. Lord. The bell's getting loud. Ain't nowhere to hide. Got nowhere to go. Put away my pride. Tired of feeling low. Even when I'm high, ain't no way to live. Do I wanna die? I don't know. I don't know.
I can feel the distress in his voice. It's a fight between the human will to live and the inevitability of death. This is so beautiful.
I see the rain pouring down.
Oh my God. Like I said before, the only tracks that I've heard of with J. Cole have been the Drake feature, the recent Drake feature, and Stick and Down Bad. All three of those are very aggressive. This is so different from what I was expecting. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. This is so gorgeous. Not only are there a lot of bells and percussive instruments, but it's just like his flow, the structure of it all. Holy, oh my God, next one.
Now I was barely 17 with a pocket full of hope, screaming dollar in a dream with my closet looking broke and my niggas.
We're pulled out of the clouds to a much more ominous instrumental. To me, it sounds like a montage of the fast life, constantly moving, drug deals, close calls with the cops, and losing some friends along the way.
Selling eyes, swelling up with tears, thinking about my niggas dead in the dirt, immortalized on the shirt. Real niggas don't die. Fall with the plot, 1745. Form at the plot, real niggas don't.
Sometimes it feels like the only way to be heard is to connect with others through your mortality. As the bell tolls, your life rings for those around you. You don't simply cease to exist at death. You live on through those who knew you.
Have you ever seen a motherfucking ribbon in the sky? Nope. All I see is that cream, nigga, that green. I'm a black king, black jeans on my black queen. And her ass fat, too fat for a flat screen. And I'm going out like Scarface in his last scene, a legend. What that mean? Real niggas don't die. Fall with the plot, 1745. Form at the plot, real niggas don't die. Real niggas don't die.
Oh my God.
To die a young legend or live a long.
The tone of this track is clearly emphatic, with J. Cole asking rhetorical questions and repeating the hook. It makes sense to live fast, die young, since that's how the story always seems to go anyway.
Telling niggas sell dope, rapper go to NBA. In that order, it's that sort of thinking that been keeping niggas chained at the bottom and hang. The strangest fruit that you ever seen. Right with pain, listen.
I love this production a lot. It's so simple on here, but not in like a boring way. It just feels like there's so much room for the vocals to really let them shine. I was just following along the entire time. It's so strong, so powerful in its messaging. And the track is called Immortal, just about how your legacy lives on, especially if your death is unjustified. Oh, beautiful. And it looks like J. Cole does some of the production work as well. Very talented.
I catch your eye and look away as if it never happened. At times I feel as though I'm caught up in a strange dream. If eyes could talk, then minds would tell you, then I'm feeling you. Sometimes I swear your eyes be telling me the same thing.
At this point in my listening, I couldn't tell that this was written from someone else's perspective, so I'm going to continue to keep it vague and call him the narrator.
I got bigger dream. Listen. Club jumping, don't stop off top, but you know we only go to 2 o'clock. Put your motherfucking hood up, it's the weekend. Drop that ass up and bitches get the freaking.
Is this still his voice? I love that the chorus sticks to the imagery from their first meeting at a party. It draws parallels between the night and the rest of your life. It won't last forever, so make your move now. Find what makes it worth it before you lose it.
Not the type to snort the white lines, I mean the type to light the nighttime. I heard you got a man, but who in they right mind letting you out the house alone? Tell me, is your house a home? Why you in the club looking like you out the zone? Now be well, and though I sin, the Lord blessing me still. Every saint got a past, every sinner got a future, every loser got a win, and every winner gotta lose someday. They say it's just a matter of time, and if I had my way, then you would be mine. She fuck with small town niggas, I got bigger dreams.
I love this verse. I am trying so hard to figure out what J. Cole is singing behind the bridge. The lyrics aren't on Spotify or Genius, so if you have any ideas of what they could be, let me know. The double tracking is so interesting.
I know you were made for me, but darling.
The narrator foresaw that they would end up together, so when they eventually did, it felt like deja vu.
Hey, put a finger in the sky if you want it, nigga. Hey, put 2 fingers in the sky if you want it.
This is in the perspective of his deceased friend. It's so hard for me to recognize on first listen when artists, mostly Kendrick, I guess, sing in the perspective of other people. I guess because I don't really know their backstories or who they are, so it's harder for me to get that.
How long can I survive with this mentality? Trials and tribulations I'm facing in this age of information. I hate this shit.
Every song so far has had such smooth beats. I love these drums and their walking rhythm. This one in particular feels perfect for a small jazz bar, lounge, or something.
I disappear. Damn it, won't be long before I disappear. You call it running, I call it escaping. Start a new life in a foreign location.
I assume the association with the Ville can be extended to any small ville that has a rough, inescapable cycle, but the song underlines more than that. There's so much going on.
When my dad died, he got shot because his friends set him up, and I didn't go to his funeral.
Nigga play me never, give up my chain never, give up my pride never, show my pain never, dirt on my name 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 never. How long can I survive with this mentality?
There's a stark juxtaposition of the narrator's inner thoughts and the emotional response of the child who lost her father to the same Ville mentality. We're shown, in her own words, the power of loss. It's so powerful that it can be used as an emotional weapon against her mother.
I get mad and I slam my door and I go in my room, and then I get mad and I say, I wish my dad was here.
Oh my god.
I never felt so alive.
We witness the narrator's new love for love and love for life. For the first time, he can let his guard down, and for the first time on the album, he isn't thinking about death. He finally has a future to look forward to.
Catch me, don't you? Catch me, don't you? Catch me. I've fallen in love for the first time. I dry eyes, I dry eyes.
So sweet.
Every time you go to sleep, you look like you in heaven.
The instrumental is so gentle, offering the same vulnerability the narrator feels he hasn't been able to express through words. It sounds bittersweet because, with love, there is also fear. Fear of loss, fear of change, fear of opening up.
While I'm too scared to expose myself, it turns out you know me better than I know myself. Better than I know myself. Well, how about that? She gets him. You get me. She hugs him. You kiss me. You tell me you miss me.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
And I believe you. I believe you. Catch me.
To have someone truly get you in the same way that you get them is such a rare connection. This song really made me mourn that relationship. To feel safe and understood, to feel seen, and to want to do everything in your power to make them feel the same. Don't ever take those feelings for granted.
My intuition is telling me there'll be better days.
So upbeat after that.
Yeah.
Oh.
My intuition is
All right,
telling me
Lennox.
there'll be better days. I sit
The sudden pickup is like a burst of energy. It feels like a desire to be optimistic because finally the narrator feels like things will be okay in the end. This is the true centerpiece of the album.
Asking the Father for forgiveness got him overwhelmed.
my God.
As if he's spiteful, like them white folks that control the jail. The ignorance to make a nigga take his brother's life. The bitterness and pain that got him beating on his wife. Like, I know you desperate for a change, let the wind glide. But the only real change come from inside. But the only real change come from inside. But the only real change come from inside.
His whole perspective on life has shifted. I love the simplistic beat and the repetition of the chorus. It's like a mantra you repeat in front of the mirror before the day begins. It preaches reflection, not only on yourself, but on your environment as well.
Birds fly, fiends won't get higher than a bird's eye. You and who am I to tell a nigga what to do? I just apply. I know you desperate for a change, let the pen glide. But the only real change come from prodigal son, got a new gun. This one don't run out of ammo. Lately been working on my handles. Can I ball, become a star and remain myself? If I fall, dust it off and regain myself. I evolve, I no longer bury demons. I'll be a vessel for the truth until I'm barely breathing.
The narrator offers some social commentary on Hisville, condemning crime, gun violence, and the senselessness that comes with it. To him, they're now seen as acts of cowardice. True bravery is to rise above the status quo. True growth is recognizing that there are other options.
Eyes wide, that's from the power that the coward feels. Niggas die for bitches disrespecting dollar bills. Bloodshed and turn the city to a battlefield.
Because when the cycle continues, it can rob that opportunity of growth from anyone.
I love this instrumental.
Overcame with a feeling I can't explain, cause that was my nigga James that was slain. He was 22. Last night around he was 22. 22-year-old black male suspect reported.
It really helps with the overwhelm of these verses.
We're gathered here today. Mourn the life of James Pickering Jr. I swear to God. Nigga, I'm gonna kill.
That was a roller coaster of a track, my God. I didn't even notice that was 5.5 minutes long.
Guess the neighbors think I'm selling dope, selling dope. Yeah. I don't want no picture with the president. I just want to talk to the man.
The entire track sounds tired, worn out, and unsurprised at the prejudice of the world. The instrumental is low and heavy, reflecting the weight of the situation. I love this beat so much.
Thinking you do you and I do me. Crib has got a big old backyard. My niggas stand outside and pass cigars. Filled with marijuana, laughing hard. Thankful that they friends a platinum star. In the driveway there's no rapper cars. Just some shit to get from back and forth. Wait, I think police is at the door.
The neighbors think I'm selling dope.
The narrator expected that it was only wealth inequality keeping him down, but it's much deeper than that. His neighbors assume he's involved in illegal activities because that's the only way they can justify a black man's ability to afford their prestigious neighborhood.
Some things you can't escape. Death, taxes, and a rate. Cis society to make every nigga feel like a candidate. Cops bust in with the army guns. No evidence of the harm we done. Just a couple neighbors that assume we slang. Only time they see us, we be on the news and change. Damn. Follow me, don't follow me.
Okay, the neighbors think I'm selling dope.
This is so good.
I guess the neighbors think I'm selling dope. Selling dope.
Well, motherfucker, I am.
It's a pick your poison mentality. If racial profiling is inevitable, then he might as well return to the Ville and embrace it. It's like his earlier reasoning for choosing the fast life. If death is inevitable, you might as well just do what benefits you, no matter the consequences.
Hey.
Oh my God. How do I go to the next song?
Hey. I wanna fold clothes for you. I wanna make you feel good. Baby, I wanna do the right thing. Feel so much better than the wrong thing.
Fast forward, the woman is now 9 months pregnant, and their relationship is in a really good place. When you have that energetic love, sometimes you just want to burst out in song, and the oxytocin feels a lot like this beat.
Saw you all alone on the couch, just snapping eye. I see a lot on your plate. Now I must with that weight. I know you tired, so. Hey.
This is so refreshing to hear. My God. The track might even sound a little out of place, fantastical, and over the top, but it reminds me of the flash mob scene in the movie 500 Days of Summer. It's just a representation of how love is encouraging the narrator to change not only his pessimistic outlook, but his goals and entire lifestyle. So cute.
With bananas and some almond milk. I never thought I'd see the day I'm drinking almond milk. You soft, I wanna fold clothes for you.
This is so cute.
Make you feel good. Baby, I wanna do
Despite this newfound enthusiasm, by the end of the song, he comes back to reality. He still has a lot of work to do and a lot of different masks to wear to get to where he wants to be. The only thing really keeping him going is seeing this woman. She makes him feel like it's worth it to continue. It's a meditation of being present, and I love that mentality.
It's the simple things, it's the simple things, it's the simple things.
It's the simple things.
Niggas from the hood is the best actors. We the ones that gotta wear our face backwards. I see us still sleeping and it feels like maybe everything is gonna be alright.
My God. Oh, part 2 to the She's Mine. Is that a baby crying? Such a brilliant connection to She's Mine Part 1. Both tracks use the same motifs and melodies to introduce his love for the two most important girls in his life. Through the responsibilities of fatherhood, he finally feels like he has a role to fill.
For you, I dropped the tough guy shit. On this bus, I sit thinking about you, thinking about you, thinking about you, thinking about you. Damn, it feel good to have you. Damn, it feel good to have you. Needing me, wanting me, giving me a chance to feel special to somebody in the world where they not loving me.
But of course, he has anxieties about raising his new daughter in such a corrupt world. He worries about his abilities to do it right and provide the best for her, especially since he wasn't the greatest example growing up.
They feed, even with the discount, write a check, the shit bounce. But as long as we got credit, it don't matter the amount. We just swiping shit here. We don't love, we just liking shit here. What's that smell? Where's your diaper shit here? Tears of joy, I think, filled up the room. You are now the reason that I fight. I ain't never did nothing this right in my whole life. Got me thinking, am I worthy of this gift? Am I strong enough to live? Am I strong enough to live? To a place that I can see, to a place that I can. That's the ego taking credit for what God made.
Oh, that piano.
Fuck this album shit. Hey mama, look what God made. She's mine, catch me.
I have a lot of these anxieties too. It's a conflict I go back and forth on regularly, but the narrator is saying that despite these insecurities and uncertainties, it's worth it. There were two miracles of life that day, the birth of his daughter and the rebirth of his purpose. The beat pickup tells me that this is just the beginning of a new chapter.
So alive. I never felt so alive. Catch me, don't you? Catch
So
me.
beautiful.
I've fallen in love for the first time.
Don't let me listen to that too much. What I'm getting from this is that part 2 is he's talking about maybe his daughter. I plan on being child-free, but I do have like a very maternal instinct. I feel like if I listen to this too much, it'll make me want to have a child, and I'm not ready for that. Oh, that's so precious.
Yeah,
And we have the final track, the title track.
for your eyes only.
We revisit the earlier theme of connecting through mortality, this time bonding in the fact that the narrator grew up without a father and now suspects the same will happen for his daughter. He wants to use the project to offer her closure and understanding as he's running out of time to fix his mistakes.
Stressing me like I ain't the one who put them J's on her feet. Gotta be no psychic to see this is like the farthest thing from heaven. This is hell and I don't mean that hyperbolic. I tried to find employment even if it's white but tallest. But these felonies be making life the hardest. Resisting the temptation to run up and swipe a wallet. The take and I play this tape for my daughter and let her know my life is on it.
Ultimately, he feels like he was lucky he lived as long as he did because of how much the odds were stacked against him. His love for his new family has changed his whole perspective, but he can't be one to escape the cycle.
You probably grown now, so this song will hit you. If you hearing this, unfortunately means that I'm no longer with you. In the physical, not even sure if I believe in God, but because you still alive, it got me praying that the spiritual maybe you hate me, maybe you miss me, maybe you spite me. Life goes in cycles, maybe you'll date a nigga just like me, I hope not. tired of dope spots and fiends to smoke rocks. I seen far too many niggas' hopes rot. Blood was staining the concrete.
The narrator wants to use the project as an opportunity to explain himself and give his daughter closure, and J. Cole is using it as an opportunity to share the message with the world. It shouldn't be for your eyes only. The world needs to hear
Around the
this.
same time as when you came in this world, me and your mama thinking, what the fuck we naming this girl? I told her Nina, the prettiest name that I could think of, for the prettiest thing my eyes had ever seen. I was 19, took me 2 felonies to see the trap this crooked ass system set for me. I hope you understand.
For your eyes, do you understand? For your eyes, do you understand?
This is so impressive.
For your eyes, do you understand? For your eyes.
Do you understand me sounds like how you would scold a child. You do not hit other people. Do you understand me? You do not take what's not yours. Do you understand me? But the narrator is instead desperately asking if you understand him in his humanity. Do you understand that I was a person who had highs and lows, love and fear? Do you understand that I had good intentions?
Views misshaped by new mixtapes. My worst fear is one day that you come home from school and see your father face while hearing about tragedy on news. I got the strangest feeling your daddy gon' lose his life soon. And sadly, if you listening now, it must mean it's true. But maybe there's a chance that it's not. And this album remains locked in a hard drive like valuable jewels. And I can teach you this in person like I'm teaching you to tie your own shoes. I love you and I hope to God I don't lose you. For your eyes only.
The instrumental section is a point of reflection and meditation, and is used to transition from the narrator to J. Cole. This revelation is a lot to take in. The perspective was vague enough to tell the stories of both J. Cole and his friend, James McMillan Jr., the character we saw tragically pass at the end of track 6, Change. Their lives paralleled each other, except James had an unfortunate ending.
I never had discussions with you
his
begging
name
you
is
to help
Truman.
me. I dealt with the repercussions of my actions. I know you tried to steer me away from that shit. He said, listen, I got no time to dive into descriptions, but I've been having premonitions. Just call it visions from the other side. I got a feeling I won't see tomorrow, like the time I'm living on is borrowed. With that said, the only thing I'm proud to say, I was a father, right? I dedicate these words to you and all the other children affected by the mass incarceration in this nation that sent your pops to prison when he needed education.
It's a depressing realization that these stories can apply to not only these 2 men, but to many others. In just the last 50 years, the US prison population has surged from 300,000 to 2.3 million, admittedly designed to criminalize Black people. We don't have all the answers, but love is a driving solution. Love is important for those who want to change themselves, and love, understanding, and empathy are needed to change the system. So this whole album is dedicated to his daughter. It is so special. It's like a tape recorder? Yeah. Oh, I was not expecting to cry today. I was gonna listen to after this, and I don't think that I can do it. Oh my god. That was so special. Yeah, I don't think that there's a more globally understood motive or reasoning for wanting to become a better person than for people that you love, whether that be a partner or a child or your parents. I think that community and connection are just such special human things. It's way too easy to just forget that now. I think maybe I'm just speaking for myself because I spend a lot of my time online and a little isolated. But if you take anything away from this video, please tell your loved ones that you love them because it's just so important. But yeah, thank you for listening with me. Hope you're doing well. No one knows what's coming next. So stay tuned, stay safe, and be kind.